I'm Bernina expert Amanda Murphy, and I'd like to show you how to quilt the border corner motifs for the Bernina 125th anniversary quilt using a Bernina Oval Hoop, so you'll be multi-hooping. So here I've gone ahead and backed the corner with a fusible woven, and then I've gone ahead and printed the PDF that we provided, the template, onto OESD staple stick template paper. And that's a great product because it's basically a tearaway stabilizer that's backed with paper that you can peel off, and then you have the adhesive, and you can see I'm going to smooth it right onto the block. You could also print the template onto regular paper and use temporary spray adhesive. Right here I'm aligning the vertical mark on the triangle with the vertical mark on the template, and also I'm making sure that the edge of my template paper lies right along the edge of my triangles indicated on the design. So to embroider the first motif, I'm going to place my grid lines directly on the center line of that motif. All the center lines of the motifs are printed in color. I've gone ahead and backed this triangle with a little bit of temporary spray adhesive so that when I moved into the hoop, the triangle will stick right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and embroider the design, but of course I don't want to embroider on my template paper, so I'm going to tear it away. Just that paisley, because I'm only embroidering the first paisley in this hooping. It wouldn't really matter which paisley you wanted to embroider first. If you wanted to go in a different order than I'm showing here, that's fine. So I've gone ahead and selected my design. This design needs to be flipped vertically. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it so it looks just like the design that was on my template paper. And the first step is stitching out the placement line. And that's where I'm going to put my applique fabric. As I said in the last video where I showed you how to do this in the mega hoop, if you just wanted to skip this step because you don't want the applique fabric, you just want to embroider right on this fabric, that's fine. So right here, I've stitched the placement line, and now I laid my fabric on top, and I'm going to stitch my tack down stitches. And after this, I'm just going to use scissors to trim away the excess fabric around the design, staying really close to the stitched edge, but not clipping my background fabric. So now I'm going to embroider the rest of the design. You might have noticed when I used the mega hoop and did that video, I actually used metallic thread. Here, although it looks like metallic thread, it's actually isocore. I've torn away my stabilizer, and I'm getting ready to hoop the second design here using my grid lines. And once I've placed the design, I tear away the paper. Okay, so now I'm going to choose the second design. And basically the process is the same for each paisley. I'm going to go ahead and stitch the placement line. I found that you really need 2 layers of the stabilizer, of the tearaway. And remember, we also have the fusible woven behind the actual piece, and you want that in there for the long-term, just the longevity of the project. But I needed 2 layers of tearaway because this is a pretty intense design. Okay, so now I've placed down my applique fabric. I'm stitching my tack down line. And now I'm going to trim that fabric as close as I can to the tack down line without actually clipping my background fabric before beginning the rest of the design. When I used the isocore thread, I actually had my automatic thread cutting on, unlike when I used the metallic and I turned it off. So we'll see the rest of this design stitch out. And of course, the last step is to change to the cream thread to add those final details. So now it's time to stitch the third design. So I've gone ahead and hooped it using the grid lines, aligning the grid lines on top of the motif center lines. And remember, the center lines for the motifs are colored. Now I'm going to go ahead and tear away the last of the stable stick. It's stable stick template paper as opposed to regular stable stick, which you can't print on. One of the things I love about the template paper is that you can print on it on both an inkjet and a laser jet. So now I'm choosing my third design, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch the placement line. Then I'll place the applique fabric down and I will stitch the tack down stitches. Then I will trim the fabric around the edges of these stitches away, and I'll begin embroidering the rest of the design. And again, the last step of this design is to embroider the cream detail. So there you go. That is how you embroider the corner border designs for the Bernina 125th anniversary quilt. I hope you're enjoying quilting with us. Happy anniversary, Bernina!